Hi folks, and welcome back to the channel. You can see behind me a little bit of my indoor grow setup, and I do have a few little things on the go. Got some overwintering tomatoes. We've started the onions. If you missed our onion sowing special over on the Potty Mouth Garden Club, links in the description. We did a live stream kind of an hour talking about onions. Who'd have thought that would actually be fun and enjoyable, but it was. And one of the things that I've kind of grown to love about gardening is that there's almost always something new to try. I'm coming into my fourth year. This is the fourth season of growing and having an allotment. And I was a little bit worried at the start that by now it might be starting to get a bit stale. You know, you do the same stuff the same way over and over. And I don't think that could be further from the truth. There are always so many new and exciting varieties that you've never heard of, if not, you know, whole new things to grow. I've never tried beans. For example, last year was the first time I tried peas. And today I'm starting something that I've never tried before as well. And that is microgreens. I've been sent a little starter kit by a friend of the channel, Grown Local. And this is just really, really cool. I have seen some people using this already and it looks so simple. I've never really been interested in microgreens before. It seems like maybe a little bit of faff and not that much result, but this is perfect if, like me, it seems like a bit of a commitment and you're not sure if you're going to like it. This little kit, you basically get everything you need apart from some water and a plastic tray to kind of host this all in. You get everything you need, free delivery as well for £10. And my mind was blown when I realized that the £10 does include delivery. You get these 4 little compostable seed trays. Everything is compostable. You get this, which is like a coir seed medium, essentially. You have to rehydrate this. And it's perfect amount for all 4 of these. And as well, you get 4 seed packets, and each seed packet is perfectly tailored to be the right amount for these trays. Now first, what I'm going to do is set this coir to rehydrate in 1 litre of warm water. Then I'll show you what seeds I've got. In the starter pack, it comes with 4 different types of microgreen seeds. There's coriander, which is meant to be incredible as a microgreen. There's broccoli, pea shoots, which is quite a common one, and radish as well. And interestingly, radish seems to be one of the highest nutrient kind of density microgreens. There's a lot of claims about microgreens and sort of their health benefits. Whenever it comes to this kind of stuff, I am very skeptical. I'm very skeptical about everything, really. But from a cursory kind of literature review, it does look like it's maybe slightly early days, but there is some good evidence that actually microgreens are much more dense than their kind of adult, mature counterparts. And for that reason, I mean, that might be another reason to give these a go, you know, if you're kind of interested in the health side of things. And as well, one of the coolest things about these is just that it lets you kind of grow stuff in this period, you know, this really quiet period where not much is going to be growing outdoors. One of the really cool things about these packets is that they come with a little QR code on them, and it's really tiny, but it does work. I tested this out earlier, and this takes you to the page on Grown Local specifically for whatever seed it is. And there's loads of really useful information on there. It's really easy to understand, especially if, like me, you've never done this before. And there's a great little table on there as well, which shows you the different kind of amounts, you know, how many grams of seeds you should be broadcasting for different sizes of trays. They sell all the trays and all that kind of stuff over there. And as well, I'll leave a link in the description with a 10% off discount code for any other seeds that you want to buy. So microgreen seeds, or they do sell normal kind of fruit and veg seeds. They've got some interesting varieties on there. So I do urge you to go check it out, have a look. And I can see down here, the coir is just starting to kind of inflate and it looks pretty much ready. So we can get these sown. So this doesn't take too long. After about 10 minutes or so, all of this is kind of puffed up. It inflates massively. It's quite surprising. I've never used coir before, but you can see it absorbs all the water. So there's no water kind of kicking around at the bottom or anything like that. And then it's just a case of filling up the trays. And one of the things that I love about this is these compostable trays can go in kind of like a variety of configurations. So 99% of growers are going to have something lying around that is going to fit these. This windowsill tray, for example, you can fit 4 in quite nicely, with a little space as well at the back for kind of like a half tray. So it's quite efficient, and it also works on one of these kind of standard trays. I don't know what you'd call this. This is like 30 centimeters and a bit by 20 centimeters and a bit. They're kind of like the standard ones. And these are perfect for a windowsill or something like that. So I'll get these filled and then I'll show you broadcasting the seeds. It's all very simple. So here you can see the 4 seed trays and just how this is the perfect amount of coir 1 litre of water seems to hydrate it perfectly. It's nice and moist, but not too damp. And one thing to note if you've never worked with coir before is that this is extremely low nutrient medium. The microgreens don't need like rich compost or anything like that. You could, if you wanted to, if you were doing this yourself without coir, use something like spent compost or seed starting compost that's very low in nutrients. So let's say we're starting with the peas. All you have to do, if you've never grown it before, use your phone to scan the QR code. The website will come up and it has all the information here. Organic pea tendril seeds. It does say for the peas that if you want to be fancy, you can pre-soak these, but I am lazy and have not done that, but I'm sure we'll still get good germination. All you want to do is just get a nice even kind of sowing. Try not to get them in the wrong one. Just so that there's not too many in one area. What you'll see is that you'll get kind of depressions where everything will fall. You just kind of get in and smooth it out a little bit. Just try and avoid any big clumps that will compete with each other too much. And then they say on the website, a nice little tip, just to use a neighbouring tray, push it down, compress it a little bit, and that means everything's got good contact with the growing medium. You could label these if you were so inclined, but most of these have quite distinctive cotyledons, so they should be relatively easy to tell apart. You could also, if you're filming a YouTube video, just remember which one's going where and look back on it at a later date. These coriander seeds look super funky. Quite cool. There we have it. Super simple, 1 tray of microgreens sown. And you might have noticed that I have switched on this little grow light. You might be able to hear it as well, actually. It lets out a very annoying noise until you turn it up, and it goes away. But one of the coolest things about microgreens is that if you don't have anything like a grow light, it's completely fine. You don't need it. These are not going to be under my grow light. These are going to be in a windowsill. And one of the things about our house that is a little bit frustrating is that we don't have anything that faces south. We've got a kind of bad situation for growing stuff without grow lights, but microgreens like these don't actually need all that much light. They will need a little bit, so a windowsill is a good place for them. But the main thing for these is about climate. It's not so much about light, like, you know, if you're gonna grow things on, it's all about light in my experience. But for these little microgreens, which you should get a harvest from anywhere between kind of 1 to 3 weeks, it depends on the crop, they just need a good warm climate. They need to stay moist, and they need around kind of room temperature, you know, 19 degrees to 22 C. If it's comfortable for you as a human, then it's probably going to be comfortable for the microgreens. That seems to be the rule of thumb. Anyway, there we go. Much simpler than I was expecting. And like I say, it was a massive kind of relief to me when I learned that light isn't the determining factor for these guys. The cost of running these things is not cheap, especially with the cost of energy bills going up. And I will still be using it for my chili peppers mainly, but if I can avoid having to use grow lights and supplementing lights, then I absolutely will. So these just seem really cool. They fulfill that kind of niche of being able to grow stuff around this time of year. I'm really, really genuinely excited to be having these on the go. So massive, massive thank you to Ian from Growing Local. Do check out all the links below. And hopefully I'll film a little update of these in a few weeks and show you how they're coming along in probably one of the allotment updates. But thank you ever so much for watching. Do let me know in the comments below if you've tried microgreens before, maybe if this is giving you a little bit of excitement and you want to give it a go, do let me know in the comments below. I'm really interested to hear. Thank you again ever so much for watching, and hopefully I'll see you again next time.